gentlemen. We actually want to brief you on the outcome of our visit, our client today, Nnamdi Kanu. As you are aware, we were there on Thursday last week with our partner from US, his legal representative from US, Fein, and we were unable to see him last week Thursday. They told us that someone who's supposed to receive us was on a special assignment, as such we can't see him. So we left and very disappointed. Very disappointed, and today we went back today because it's Mondays and Thursdays are visiting days. So we went back today, and unfortunately, Bruce Fein was not allowed to visit him. I was only permitted to see him. So, but I insisted on knowing the reason why he was denied access to him today. They were kind of vague in their reasons. They told me that first of all, there was a directive from the top that he cannot be allowed access. There was no approval for him to join me in the visit. Two, that on further inquiries, they told me that he is coming from a foreign jurisdiction as such. The order of the court that allows lawyers to see him does not extend to cover him. So as such, they can't be part of the team. So that's actually what I took home from what they told me. I saw him, and unfortunately, he wasn't even aware that we were there on Thursday. Because he expected to see us on Thursday in line with the guideline of the court, but he didn't see us. He was not aware that we came in the first place. We saw him, he's stable, he's firm in convictions. And we discussed other engagements regarding the legal undertakings and also things we are to do. So, but Bruce Fein is here, is going to also address you people on his experience in Nigeria before leaving, and also his next line of action, and also how he feels about the entire thing that happened today. We believe something must have led to it, and we believe that there must be victory at the end of the day, because I believe something is going on somewhere, and I cannot be far from now. He'll be out. So let's befriend Mr. Prevail can talk to the world about your experience in Nigeria. How you were denied access today to see a client you came all the way from the US to see, and also what you intend to do going forward. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you for that introduction. I pay my respects from the United States to the Nigerian people, who I think all deserve a rule of law and opportunity to develop their faculties and pursue their ambitions. That's a fundamental human right, and Nigerians, like all other peoples, enjoy those rights. And I just want to voice my gratitude that we have people in this room and otherwise who are risking a lot in order to achieve that element of human dignity. Based upon today's meeting that Ejiofor had with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I am his international lawyer and international spokesperson. And I will be pursuing all international diplomatic and political platforms to see that justice is done, that fundamental norms of law are complied with. Among other institutions I plan to visit, there's an international working group on arbitrary detention that sits in Geneva. It's an arm of the United Nations Human Rights Council. There's the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court, that entertains accusations of crimes against humanity, violating the Genocide Convention. There's also the United Nations Security Council, which you may recall has established separate courts in instances where it's thought necessary because domestic courts are insufficient to prosecute cases of genocide or crimes against humanity. Most recently, you may recall, the special court established to try Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic for genocide, amongst other Serbs, relating to the Serbian War. We will also be approaching the United States Congress, which obviously has an interest in Nigeria. It's the most populous and perhaps the wealthiest country, potentially, in all of Africa. And it will be of major concern of the Congress of the United States that there be stable rule of law here. Democracy can flourish, and that religious tolerance is accepted. You know that recently it was recommended that Nigeria be placed on the highest tier of concern by the International Commission on International Religious Freedom because of the seeming persecution of those of Christian affiliation, which includes a large majority of Biafrans. So we intend to pursue all of these legitimate platforms in the international community to make it clear that anything that transpires regarding the Nnamdi Kanu case will be fully in the sunshine. It will not be clouded. As an example of the concerns that have been raised in the proceedings so far, there are at least 4 violations of international law that are apparent. First, Nnamdi Kanu's kidnapping is a violation of international law. His torture before returning to Nigeria is a violation of international law. His extraordinary rendition, that is taken from Kenya to Nigeria without any hearing, is a violation of international law. Denying him access to his counsel is a violation of international law. These principles are called, in legal terminology, just cogents. That means they're principles of law that apply everywhere. No state can renounce them because they're so universally recognized as fundamental to civilization. So that's why this case has raised grave concerns under international standards. And I think the international community would be seriously grieved if these weren't remedied, which is why I will be approaching them. Again, with the full backing, I am the echo chamber, if you will, of Nnamdi Kanu. I am optimistic that he will be released soon. That's essential, and I believe Nigeria will come to understand that to be in compliance with international law of the most fundamental sort is a lot better for all the Nigerians, including the government of Nigeria, than being a scofflaw. So that's a summary of where we are. I'm leaving tomorrow back to the United States, and the agenda will be pursued there.
They told me there was a directive, there was an approval for our request for him to see him. So because usually before the visit, we usually notify them about our coming formally, and they said there was an approval. And when I insisted to know more, they said that it's not a lawyer called to Nigerian bar. It's not a lawyer practicing within the institution. They came here on the way from the foreign country. I should approach the court to get further approval to that effect. I understand that should be a flimsy excuse. That's not the important thing. The most important thing, I've seen him, and though of course we have other applications pending before the courts for him for a advanced medical attention to be given to him, which I believe anytime it's had, the court will deliver a ruling on the merit in that respect. So the fact that he's being kept in a solitary confinement is enough torture, of course, mental-wise. And of course, you see, the lawyer came all the way from United States, spent 18 hours airborne to see his client. He was eventually not allowed to see him. So, and you know what it means. So, and also he's being subjected to that form of torture, where he has no access to the larger world, limited access to his lawyers. So, and also there is need for advanced medical attention to be given to him. We insist, because we can't tell to the world actually whether he's healthy today or not. He may look healthy, of course, you see him, you say he's healthy, may look healthy as he's looking at him. But inwardly, he can't determine what he's passing through. And apart from against the backdrop of the fact that he was subjected to all forms of torture and inhuman treatment when he was abducted in Kenya before his traditional rendition to Nigeria. So that's why we are calling, and also we're calling on for an advanced medical attention by independent medical experts. So that application is before the court, so because the court has to give an order. So, and also, even it be, I've written to the service, I will made a formal application to them in that regard, that if they will allow us, because you see, it's only living that can face the death, that can face trial. So they can allow us for somebody to come and look at him. And conduct a thorough medical examination. Let us know if there's any issue he has, maybe hasn't been disclosed. So as it stands today, I can confirm to the world that he's 100% healthy until when an independent person investigates him medical-wise. So taking into cognizance the fact that he was tortured, that was also inflicted with severe injuries and harms when he was abducted in Kenya. So, and which I believe is still, which is still taking treatment today on account of that. But facial looking is stable, I can say that, but we need an independent medical expert to examine him. So thank you so much.
Okay, Just a simple question. Please, my question is, you have disclosed your plan to go to ICC, U.S. Congress and others. Are you going to join Kenya that allegedly played a major role in the abduction of Nnamdi Kanu? Are you going to...
No, let me correct an impression, please. If you are asking question, don't talk about allegedly here. Okay. We are talking about something clear and direct. As a matter of fact, we're in Kenya and coming. We're in Kenya court today challenging what they did. So what you are going to say is abduction, torture in Kenya is acceptable. You can now respond to the question. So don't say allegedly, okay, please.
Sir,
thank you so much.
No,
the issue of... They've stopped talking now. They can't talk again.
They deny that.
Yeah, they've stopped talking.
So I want to know if you are going to join Kenya as party in that your plan to go higher.
Well, to the extent that Kenya was complicit in acting in collusion, they are co-conspirators and equally liable under international law. They can't wipe their hands like Pontius Pilate and say, well, we had nothing to do with it. And the standard we will use, it may well be that, is often done, we would approach Kenya and say, if you give us evidence, we may refrain from naming you. That's often done. They would turn and benefit us as a witness. Because we know, the chief culprit here, the moving factor, is Nigeria. Kenya wouldn't have done this spontaneously on its own. So the way in which Kenya becomes implicated will depend upon the facts and how cooperative they are.
So what I would like to know is, what happens if all sources or all this international courts and all of that, what if they fail to help you get justice? What else will you do?
There are both judicial platforms as well as political platforms, the political being Congress. The fact is, we will never cease seeking justice. There's a saying from one of our famous presidents, Thomas Jefferson, that God is just and his justice will not sleep forever. So the idea that anyone could convince us that we've lost is fallacious. The different personalities come in, justices don't survive forever, politics changes. We'll continue to make the case for justice because it's universal. Again, we are basing our legal theories on such fundamental principles of human rights that no nation can opt out of them. Now, there may be situations where imposing sanctions doesn't, in the short run, yield the result that you want, but you don't give up ever. Look at all of the years it was thought that apartheid would be integral in South Africa. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for a long time, but then he became president. So we feel that we have the tenacity and doggedness and justice on our side that will enable us to prevail. It's just a matter of when, not if.